Hello, everyone out there. Welcome again to another episode of Rainbow TV. I'm Dr. Rick Blaze, and I'm here with Dr. Lisa Bonet, who's going to be speaking to us about breast cancer and the prevalence within LGBT populations.
Thank you for having me today.
It's a pleasure to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about your research and how you became involved in LGBT work and breast cancer with women?
Yeah, so my research focuses on the disparities in risk factors and risk for developing breast cancer as seen in lesbian women when compared to their heterosexual counterparts. I first got involved in this during my master's education at UNC, and it was through a class that first engaged me into this subject, and I've since integrated it into my passion of improving women's health. So what research shows us is that sexually and gender diverse populations or individuals, they often face lack of access to healthcare facilities, or they underutilize healthcare resources, and that's because of fear and discrimination and systematic oppression that they've faced. And because of this, it adds an extra burden of disease. So they're already marginalized, and then you have these increased risk factors going on as well.
Awesome. I can see why that's going on. But what do you mean by disproportionate risk of breast cancer?
So, in short, what I mean is that the prevalence of risk factors for breast cancer are higher in lesbian women when compared to to heterosexual women. So basically, when you have high risk factors, you have a greater risk of developing the disease. And these risk factors include taking oral contraceptive pills, being obese or overweight, not having any children or having few pregnancies, because pregnancy produces hormones that are protective factors, and often lesbian women who do not go through the phase like that. So because these risks are more prevalent in lesbian women, it puts them at a higher risk of developing breast cancer.
I can see that. And so does this mean that lesbian women are getting breast cancer more than straight women or their straight counterparts?
No, no, it doesn't. What it means is that there's certain physiological and behavioral characteristics that puts one at risk of developing breast cancer, regardless of sexuality. And it happens that in our society that these characteristics are seen more in lesbian women populations than in straight women. Yeah, so that's where we see in the discourse. Yeah,
I can see the change there.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think state and national level leaders can be doing about this? What can we do at a state and national level?
So a big focus in LGBT health right now is research. But the thing for research is you need data, and you need resources and funding. And so what the state and national, even local governments can do is make data available. And you make that available, one, via the census, so just asking questions about sexual orientation puts a more accurate, it gives us a more accurate data and description of the LGBT population in the US. And secondly, funding. Like government agencies are funding health research across the board, and that's good, but they're not putting the money in this population. So increasing those funding on the national level as well would help decrease some of this disproportionate rates that we're seeing.
Yeah, definitely more resources. What can be done so that people care about this issue more and that we get the attention out there?
Yeah, so basically, the old saying that a team is only as strong as their weakest team member. It's almost the same. I like to apply it to public health. Like public is only as healthy as their sickest population or their most marginalized population. So that's why we should care, because it's a human thing to do. So what we need to do is to increase awareness and to talk more about breast cancer, and talk more about those risk factors, especially those risk factors and how they're more prevalent in lesbian communities. So talk more about those in the queer population so we can raise more awareness to the issue. Yeah.
Definitely. Again, thank you again, Dr. Lisa Bonet. I definitely will try my hardest to get that word out.
Thank you. That's all it's about.
We appreciate you having you here, and again, another episode of Rainbow TV. Thank you for having us.